Hey everyone, welcome back to Shutter Magazine. I'm Dustin Lucas, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to make your photography more accessible. Lightroom's done some pretty incredible things with their mobile application, allowing you to access your files on your mobile devices like your iPhone, your Android devices, as well as iPads, tablets, things like that. So the flexibility of Lightroom is kind of been there, but now they're taking it to another level, allowing you to edit in your web browser. This is quite new for Lightroom and allows you to have that same flexibility in editing between your computers, whether you have the files on you or not, whether you have Lightroom installed on your computer or not. So let's jump into Lightroom Mobile to get familiar with uh, how to get your images to sync between your devices. Then we can jump into editing in the browser. So I have open here a catalog of images that my wife and I have shot of my son over different parts of the season, and I sort of want to show you, looking at this as they're already imported in the catalog, you're seeing these symbols here of this showing that it's synced with Lightroom Mobile already, but starting out with Lightroom, we want to go to Preferences and make sure we're logged in. So when you go to Lightroom Preferences, you have the option to show your log in, your subscription here. You can, a few options here: prevent system to sleep during sync, specify locations for Lightroom mobile images. This is pretty important if you want to make sure you're not overloading your computer hard drive. As you can see, this is saving to my pictures. I'm just loading a bunch of images there, and will fill up my hard drive, and that's a problem. I certainly suggest using a shared, maybe a NAS drive across your network, or using an external hard drive. Certainly something to think about with saving all these images either from your phone to your Lightroom catalog, or vice versa. You just don't want to bog down your computer hard drive, or else your computer is going to run slow, crash, etc. Things like that. Moving on, let's get some images ready for Lightroom Mobile. As you can see here, I have a collection down here at the bottom I've already kind of created. So if I select all 84 images and I want to create a new collection, and I'm hitting Command N to do that, and I'm immediately given the option to name this collection. I can put it inside of a collection set from Lightroom Mobile. This is going to be from, so I could immediately let's see here, choose different options. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that and just call this Lightroom Mobile, right? So if I do that, I could choose all my I've already selected all 84 files, so we might as well include them. Now I'm just going to call this Lightroom Mobile 2, so it's separate from the one I've already created. I'm going to go ahead and click Create, and it's created this Lightroom Mobile collection. So if I right click here, I have my mobile links. We'll get into that. This is how we get into the browser. I have Sync with Lightroom Mobile already checked, which was the option in that window, but it's as simple as that. So now what it's doing is it's syncing to my phone, and let's take a look at my phone and see what's going on with that. Let me turn that back on. So now I'm going to show my phone, and it's already syncing these to my cell phone. So I'm looking at this through a 5K Player app. It's a free app online I found to just screen share my phone. But I'm going through my phone right now, and I'm looking at these images, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I have all of my photos that are in my catalog, all 84 showing up. Awesome. So now I'm going into the actually one of the photos that's been edited, and it's showing me the same adjustments here as I have in my catalog. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this photo here. Actually, make sure we're looking at the same photo. So I can kind of see between these two images similar, the same exact settings. So all of them are showing up on my phone, which is pretty interesting. I have the ability to make changes here. So let's say I want to, I don't know, make a pretty dramatic change and turn it to black and white. So I click black and white, and it's going to sync pretty quickly back to my computer. So once it makes its little sync, as you can see here, it's doing its little syncing adjustments. I'm on a pretty fast internet connection, but it's going to sync between my devices with this change that I've made. So the adjustment changes pending to be synced. Now let's go back to another photo. As you can see, it's in black and white here. And so now Lightroom Mobile should be syncing in the background. Slowly but surely, this file should have an update. Not sure why all those are unflagged. And there we go. So I'm showing that I can make adjustments on my phone and vice versa, right? So I can go and I can undo, hitting the V key, bringing the color back, and making some adjustments. Maybe I want to brighten this image up a little bit, maybe take down the warmth. Sure, whatever I feel like doing, right? So once making that change, syncing the photos, now I can go back into my phone and look at that image as it's doing its little spin. It'll make its changes for me. Go into color, showing black and white still, which is fine. So you can see we're syncing. That's normal. All up to date. Let's make sure that that file is firing back. Syncing, syncing, syncing. All up to date. Well, it doesn't seem to be. There we go. And we're back. So we have our color image. So you can show the syncability between your mobile device, Lightroom, and vice versa. It's pretty great. These are household photos. Whether you're on scene and you're shooting. I talk a little bit about photographing, which is pretty great with the with Lightroom Mobile. You can do some. You can shoot in DNG, which is pretty crazy. If I'm here, now I'm kind of jumping around here. I can shoot in DNG and choose that format, which is pretty cool for editing as well. I'm going to jump out of the camera app. Just another cool thing about Lightroom Mobile. Let's go into talk about Lightroom Browser, right? The new feature of Lightroom. So we're going to go back, and I can choose to edit directly into my browser. So I have an option to go Make Public, View on Web. These are the quickest ways to just right-click on your collection and go right into the browser. So if I go to View on Web, it's a private link, didn't make the images public, and now it's allowing me to jump right into Lightroom on my desktop. I mean, it's pretty incredible, right? So I'm looking at the images here. It's for rating system. It has my 5-star rating. It's the color image. It's exactly as I've edited it on the phone as well as in Lightroom desktop app. Now I'm on the browser app. I'm on the web. As you can see, I'm in Chrome. I'm going to close out all my other tabs here. Kind of useless. And now what I can do is I can start to make adjustments and jump into some of the new features of what Browse offers. So I have an auto option, which I can choose which image looks better. And this is something that I can give Lightroom. This is to help them with feedback on their auto feature. I think this is a little ghostly, a little bright. I think this one's a little bit dark, but I'm going to go ahead and choose this anyways. Come back off on the exposure. But now, as we can see, I can do save and exit. Make sure that I do that. So now it's going to sync with my Lightroom mobile app, between my iPhone, between my Lightroom desktop. So once I do that, we can go in and see those settings as they are in Lightroom. Boom. So it shows a history state from Lightroom Mobile. from the app. So you can go back in the steps. So you get a history state. You don't get the exact settings. You just get one sort of collective history state there. But it's showing the ability for you to sync those two. So real quick, jumping around back in the browser app, making sure everything is the same. So if we hover over -50.52, so about half a stop down, 72. So all my settings are about the same. Now we have some more options going back into your different panels. So we have some cropping actions. Cropping options. It's asking us to choose aspect ratios. So this is something to where it's going to suggest specific crops automatically for us. So if I do a 1:1, it's going to suggest the middle crop here. 4:3. 5:4. See, is it choosing the best option out of the, trying to make that suggestion for me in the image. So it's taking the subject matter and trying to frame it up. So it's pretty interesting that it's kind of doing an auto crop for you. It doesn't always work. As you can see here are just the standards. Right? I'm not going to choose that. I'm cutting cutting his head off there. But you have some interesting options. Different cropping options. Not finding as many useful ones as I'd like. But as you can see, it'll make it different cropping options in there as well. So just a newer feature. They're trying to let me do auto straighten. Didn't make any changes there. So just another feature as well. They have some general presets. These I don't find as useful. They're definitely competing with On1 RAW and some interesting features here. What I'd like to see is if I could see my image in the different layouts here. Might be coming soon to Lightroom, maybe not, but just something to sort of see these different effects on my actual image versus a default one. I don't typically use many of these presets. And then you have your adjustment panel. So that's the new feature in Lightroom. You have, I'm going to go back. So I can access all of my photos as I have in the past, with my Lightroom mobile. It's showing up the collections as well. I can take images from my phone or online, create collections here, and have them sync back to the computer. Another pretty great option for having a little more of a collaborative system between your browser app and Lightroom, the desktop app. But that's all I have for you guys. Just kind of showing you the different flexibility in your Lightroom application. So definitely reach out if you guys have any questions, and let me know if there's any other sort of more efficient ways that you're using mobile apps. Definitely let me know. I'll be more than happy to discuss any of that with you guys. Thanks.